your for your boy Patrick Murphy, High Life Radio, and I would tease Kasem and the bro no. And so your BB Sunko Krama. Send na AC Canono and then questions I war finances. Sorry, questions I war housing, mortgage, selling, buying, refinance. Your expert wa ha. Yenya Lex Admakon. On the no the babeshisha so ha. Tino Katrina bi na ono on train na infa the questions and so many things are a war emra. Bet me dialing or numbers na they were made better chat no so. Those numbers now bet me dialing in bet me aboa ama wageti defense life ana etimi akasa phone numbers no so bet me fresh up so fra. Yominia we dey en waste time. Yominia what make kasa?
What you also meti
yen waste time tiene. It say what the my debia wa ha ba so you hu adi kakra na afi yen fan free ha. Say ne debia bebia de beta so to tama omanim bekukwa yanim ansana ti do you adi kakra na afi yen fa entita so ha.
Elena medasi nana that's ne High Life Radio adaroma any wetiefuo any say nyimre so mama ho kwan say yemra ne medidi ye ho komo emfa edan ho hyehyeye ne ton bibia fa ho bia within the Alex Adomako Champion I'm a realtor Virginia and Maryland Malansisi in both states in both commercial and residential that is my background namely Samson's properties and in the past 5 years. This is my 6 years with them. Manuel Siminia.
Yo, yeah, that's be Ben, minim say Ben also. Who question be na Ben? Who question mine?
But your Debbie and this year.
And this is here. You any minim who mute ana. Who mute. But me tin noise me who baby noise ni free. Let me try now. So, yo, Cynthia.
Hello.
Actually, a question na dey here. High Life Radio and out and then your question ma I expect about house mortgages.
Oh, me pacho me joining a met ye mean
what's the answer?
Yeah, I'm pacho.
Yo, any bro, start my how I bit see I started say before see a bedroom who crash say your fat mortgage, you know. Saying I was here started with it has amount for but no more questions about so now for free honor. You just the amount for say started a question after you know more questions.
Very good. So and said yeah, what can I we want your person about the last time the state we want to talk about the state of the US housing market. That is the true. The person may do 200 more in terms of about the housing market because now there's so much going on as to rare information and actually
alternative. Is it alternative information?
You know, want to talk about the state of the US housing market as you and I know, right? And the state of the US housing market now, what is taking place? There are two things that are taking place at the same time, which is one, home prices are going up and up and up, right, as we speak. So in that case, it's a good thing for those who own homes, right? And the other side also is for those who also want to buy one, especially those who want to buy their first home. And I said some people move here, either they want to buy an investment home or their second home. So that is one thing that is, you know, working against those who want to come into the market now. And then there's the other side, which is the interest rate. Interest rate, a cost above from, but here we are. CC is sitting anywhere between 6 and 7%, right? And so those are the two main factors in your mind. We have it now in the US housing market as we speak, right? And so In terms of buyers, the wind that is blowing, you know, we say is, to some extent it has been a challenging one, because if you cost through, and at the same time interest rate to echo, and so at the air cost through, but one lead to the other, which is a bino rate necessary for almost one was started 2022, almost 2 years now, or raising rate now. It's still sitting where it is now, no, is to trying to stop home prices from going up, right? And so by trying to do so, no, and so no, it's punishing those who want to buy, right? Because abani percent in if you born is stabilizing and a shrubbery, but at the same time, also no, people also want to buy, and the other side also is also no good, which is rental also is going up. And unfortunately, you know, whenever there's a situation like this, like if you buy cost through, not interest rate to cost through, the rental market, you know, take advantage in that they realize that there's opportunity. That means especially there's a pool of people here. Now they want to buy, but they are stagnant, they can't buy, or people are saying, say, oh, they are doing, you know, waiting game. Into the waiting game now, then the rental market is quickly they jump in, they want to cash in, because we're on top. And yet the all renting me then we need 2 years, and the mommy increase prices. Apartment mommy increase. Until now, no, that is one of the things that is going on in the market. High price versus high interest rate. And most importantly, no, so in the midst of these two picture I'm painting here now, there is also, how do you call it, kind of standstill. Standstill and saying, you will think that enka home prices are costly. Enka people would just, oh, me ton na menya mfaso, and I may ton na makoto for something. Now, no, ama woman so was existing home in Nano, so no, woman so they are not willing to sell, because people sell homes for at least 3 main reasons. That is one, either say auto, na wa upgrade or downgrade, right? And I say obua auto, na ebia wa retire. What you say? Into move into retirement home. Those people, it's easy decision. But Obu also had a third one, which is not a bad situation, but unfortunately it happens. Obu on ma ebia ware for ana couples, partners in a kotoye. But now, unfortunately, now this relationship is not working anymore, right? And so, by so doing now, some of these relationships now, toxic ones they are stuck in this home now. Obi, if they sell this woman, also be a movie copy baby. And here is a situation now. Abia,
yo, bro, mami, yo, ikaka. Nanayo, kwacho, what question? Be my if or house, your friends a mortgage. Nana,
that be you say if I am adjoining, you know.
yo, be an so question be that answer. It's you know, your broker so.
Right, and what is the third option now? Na Yamoakwaba. Now may discover no is say and no sano and also it's part of the problem. Say make na it is sa independent and cause under normal circumstances, if you buy they'll be able to sell it and make equity. And I say the third people now make an relation work here will be unfinished can do currency. The person wants to turn if you but in the situation, rate was through prices also high steady, no. You see, that caliber of people also want to minton. And the end results now, no one because of prices are equity air building, no a homeowners, but rate no so are cost through buying no person or the stabilize pricing and also one also a person and also no abe kind of challenging and so on and so forth. And this is one of the fundamentals are now no the current market, and it's not just about housing, but anything behind it has to do with finance now. And on about the raising rate now up to date. No, we are sitting here, and there's a possibility. Say we are hearing say the last meeting in June. No, they are saying say hopefully no, maybe they are anticipating say this year they might have 2 rate cuts, namely Possibly the first one might take place in September, but it's all up in the air, depending on how the economy is doing.
Yo, brother, officer red card here because he started in the last December. And I mean, I said in based on the way economy you see and answer a risk card. No, it's not a crack run. Say, open so just you see church, but now so just say, my ready. Me then say, me pesa me see be I say, was me 2 fees see ya. Me koto and I say, me try and I say from your aspect and I say from what you're on the field. No, what do you see? What? Say my emphasis will be me na say my say my emergency nan can pesa me to 2004 me sha a dan ekosro interest rate so kosro my confused then I be catch me.
Yes, so in terms of that, now that's a very good question, which is a common question that is running across over Google. It's one question that Google search as number one question. Do I have to buy or do I have to wait? It's a common question, and I get it every week. 3 things that I've said it and I've always complete that. There are 3 things I would fear questions I one need to answer it effectively, which is number 1, affordability. 2, a product you like. 3, a community are working for you as individual or your family, right? But the most important one on top of the list is affordability. If you can answer these 3 questions, a product you like, a community that works for you, and then most importantly, affordability. If you can be able to pay there, then I think that you are ready, because there's no going to be a good and a bad time. It's very difficult to time a market, right? There's always going to be ups and downs. But one thing I always say is yes, if you can afford it, then buy it, because interest rate I make once earlier, those interest rates are also temporary, right? Eventually, those of us who have owned homes, or as everybody know, every loan is refinanceable in America here, right? From credit card to anything. Even we've heard it multiple times. If in business is crown, also they are renegotiating the terms of their loans. What are they doing? They are refinancing. So if you be able to maintain payment, then go ahead and buy, and then later on you can refinance.
Yo, me say noise na me pese who be free. But ote. Mami Jane, Pacho em say one bemu yi, James obetina log of no asa log back in. Said me kind no questions bi so na person the two chat ma obetimi to chat in. What the chat ma e betimi aye ho adwuma. For bro sauti.
No, me clear. I don't hear anything.
Me can't what noise be. I say na nyum bi bo wa chiri.
Me Pacho there be me wa.
Sound yo. Let's say free me have baby ana. Yo, that yeah. Next question. So they say, hey, yo, the next question. Me nua what's up him? And you nua so aba. Yo, like I said, obi a question be a way there, and there a questions on kwan yem pese be preach be bree. Yeah, questions be bree na ye pese ye try na ye de banti question be a wo fa mortgage, you new mortgage. I feel a brand new episode je. Waji dada 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, 1 year ago need sa nyama no. Question be a will be a refinance be a ho.
So uton fie any question?
Yes, selling or buying. Ni nyina ka ho.
Okay, to master Siana.
Pacho, koso.
Okay. My wife, we are planning to buy a new house, but I want to find out from the council. Say,
is it right?
Jose.
What's your frozen?
Lambert. Yes, sir.
Bro, Pacho, friend, what friend or phone so?
Yep.
I'm saying you know background, all right?
And
oh, you be background.
No.
Yo, any koso.
Okay, so I want to find out, say, is it the right time, say, ever talk down for, and I say, it's not the right time.
You to kasa kasa kakra, you hoka crab in kakra. We say, right time, say,
is it the right time, say, ever talk down for, and I say we have to wait for a while. Looking at the interest rates.
Interest rate, yo, broke.
Thank you, Miniala Benton. It's a very good question. And the question I always say is all about your readiness, right? And how do I define one readiness? One readiness is defined by one, affordability. Two, a product you like. Three, a community that works for you and your family. And so if the first question is able to answer very well, which is the means to able to afford that particular home there, then I think you are ready. Because when it come about talk about interest rate, there's been the interest rate is what determine how much you pay, right? Which means it reduces people's buying power. So for instance, let's say between interest rate 6% and 7%, right? If you are to buy a home of let's say 400,000 with 7% interest rate versus how do you call it 6%? Definitely, there's a decent amount of payment that is going to take place between because between those interest rate, you're talking about almost $200-300 more in payment, right, for the same type of loan. What is the mention? And so the question is interest rate permanent? Interest rates are not permanent. And so if you are when our community are open there and you'll be able to manage your payment there, then I'll say yes. You go ahead and buy it. You can always refinance it. I hate always to say that because I don't use refinancing as a tool to educate clients in terms of buy or don't buy. But the plain truth is there's two evil that is going on. One evil is better than the other. In that, okay, me rent it. Well, if I'm renting, well, what am I getting in returns? But okay, I'm purchasing, yes. Under normal circumstances, if my rate is maybe 5.5 versus 6.5, where I'm going to be paying $300 less, $400 less, is money. But the thing is that if I buy and I'm paying a little bit more than my expectation, one, I'm building equity. Two, at the end of the year, all the interest that I'm paying here, I'll be able to write it off on my taxes.
I mean, hold on, mommy. Obi was TV about why? What to make us? Bro, to make us.
Maybe trying.
I know. Obi so the other line. Okay, young koso.
Right. So I'll be able to, when it comes to mortgage, yes, I'm paying high in interest, but at the end of the year, now I'm able to write off all the interest that I'm paying on my taxes. Translation, so me year juma $50,000. Na menifie, na se ABR and can some minya $1,000. With that mortgage that I'm paying, there's a good chance that if you're $400,000, the interest I'm going to be paying, I'm going to receive maybe $2,000, $3,000 at the end of the year, or when I file my taxes. That means yes, I'm paying mortgage, high interest rate, but at the end of the year, it gives me tax break. Mm-hmm. You are not just talking about the interest alone, but you're also looking at property taxes. Or property taxes, so you use that one also to write off your taxes, and that one affects your state returns more than even your federal. So the mortgage interest rate affect both federal and state, but the property taxes, because you are paying to that very state now county, you get more returns. So my answer to you is yes, if you can afford it, then it's always a good time to buy. But one of the things I also hear is, home prices don't go down forever, and home prices don't go up forever. So my top if you 500, I rise there to 600. Unless something comes up and they say, is down by 20,000. No, that is not the end of the world. Said yes to you know, ebesan kosoro one day. And that will be my answer. I'm not sure say I've answered it for my brother.
Your follow-up question, bro, Lambert, to bet me the account say when you saw Kakan comes to make follow-up question, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So no, I can but I mean definitely what house are for a little tax, definitely you get a percentage of whatever you paid to whether the county or yeah. But the question is, how long now interest rate in the cost? You're looking at the maths now, and I say more naja mudi animu. Who say interest rate no for many times soon, and I say kwa never cost.
Yo, bro, me fa wa ha. Memfa, yo, dear, me who ni say, as a or church, no, the person can say interest rate in the as a control ni so. Yeah, expect ho, amount for ni na not speculations ni ade. So we kaya, say be a udi echi kakra say from last year, from September ho baby, I say December ho baby no, and that speculation started by say interest rate be kofo. Hey. Now the entire man yes and said that time no na inflation no started dropping kakra and based on saa nneɛma no mo de hwɛ interest rate no share this Fed year omo ho ya omo one go pɛ omo go nyinaa ne sɛ ɔmpɛ sɛ drop inflation nti no they don't care what is going to happen omo sɛ ne wɔhwɛ sɛ ne omo si yɛ na inflation so ɔmo sɛ ɔmpɛ sɛ ɔmo kɔ 2% answer at the same time so even in 2% kora no mo sɛ bi economy is doing good can yet then betimi ebi ometimi ayi hu bi but we share the first quarter no na economy no numbers ne nye into ometimi anye to postpone the next one no so na nye ene ewo mu yi asana the next one so a ebeba eti no media to me ne de me hwese ne nyama si kona me hwe the Fed way this particular Fed yo mo hwe the way omo si ye omo nyama na me nye sure say interest rate no e bi ebe drop say even class said drop kra na you remember say fiti preko paa nko saa 2 na 3 na na ewo no e be bibi e be gradual e bia 0.5 bi na ekofom te say the no mu raising mu usual hwa the way omu si raising no and the way omu si a drop in na difference omu drop here omu drop no smaller than say bi omu raise crowd the way omu si raising no so usually we study as na yan hu eti no you were saying be say marry the house and marry your friends in the home no and date the mortgage
interest rate.
meaning say interest rate fluctuate e ka betimi akoso betimi abafo by houses ankasa party bro say obetimi testify to this say say start to say we are call this field no obetimi aka number of times the houses akofo and the houses need the dropping no adding near to me no kakra me mehu pa say interest rates your friends say houses are dropping pa no we share the history of this country somewhere in the 1930s in a drop one. And at the next one drop here, houses drop here pass now 2008, 2009. And you share houses par there and time drop it. So share the 2021 hono ekona emphasis COVID time now houses ekon. We houses kosro be na kosro no. It was inflated because people there was so much small, which it is still now. So many people out there looking for small house, number of houses. No, it's that's the demand. No, was so high. It's nipa mienu anoma a clash or dime back, clash or dime back. Na nipa no a dime kasa price a be 200,000. And nam say ubi pennies was member 210. Ubi member ubuhana fi na kwa could do 24. It's not amount for top price no original price nankasa. Said they make out here say it at that time now nyema mu dudu kakra no se won say drop the bar as I drop a friend correction a correcting itself to the original and just said house not drop it and drop it it's working baby at house drop it pa it said the 30s and the 2008 and 2009 it is why ready media it said the all can me hwese ne osi kan asem no kona expect or say enya dia a dan airdrop is say interest rate in the between back and forth. No, so no, we need control also. The control also ɛna bi a osika no readiness away he I mean ya make say so why ready a any so twɛn obiara and usually no you shouldn't depend too much on the interest rate the which kind or say as all time you know what time ya no nko bibia all time ya na tough nti no say my readiness ne say ebia me wo mixika kakra wo ho no ma ebia metimi dia ebia me wo me down payment kakra wo ho ma ye ho ready wo ho me wo me your friend say closing cost my ni na ready wo ho no metimi asave sa niam no wo ho me sure say bia me wo emergency fund bi da machi in case any motor house omo motor house bi bru that day na the next week a month no na furnace no ko ana say bibi akọ in case bibi ba because now no yen rent bi bibi aye wa dia if we was any money now na feel say oh yeah okay ni ade a na uhwe na mortgage a obetua na enye too much e be eating to your friend is saying your monthly take home pay men train anytime be a beba phone be your friends interest rate make phone be no ultimately reduce at the same time no say that shouldn't be the weapon but if it comes fine because what turn at that point to cry na say interest rate not me na eba phone that means when you raise crowd on ma e be crowd between the go mortgage so ma wetimi atwa winter eti so obetwen de uhwe niema esi kona I don't think say obi beka just twen say
okay me that's it.
And otherwise, we are waiting for the next question. I think so just to piggyback on maybe where you left off now. It's just like one of the things also people have to also understand is that as we China in terms of whole price, unless something catastrophic happened in the economy, because like we said that when everybody can Google, as some of the things we are saying here, you can Google it and you can fact check us, right? With the exception of in those 1930s and 08, 09, in the US history, we've never had any major dip or collection in home prices, right? And so when you go back even to after COVID, 2022, people can go and check. 2022, no, there was a stale when they first started raising rate, almost at February. So that first summer of 2022, home prices dropped. Very, very dropped in nationwide because the people were in shock. Said, why do we see January, we see under 3, and all of a sudden they see 3.5%, 4%. And so people like Ian Tobium. And I kept telling people there, no, this thing that the Fed has started, this is just the beginning of a higher interest rate. Into place, if you are ready, buy. Those who adhered and they bought, they look back and some few clients of mine, they like, Alice, thank you. Because I got 4% and now you're talking about 7. So that means that had I waited, will my rate be 7? Right? That was the same, how do you call it? 2022, no? And so we had a drop in prices in 2022. And then going to the end of 2022, for whatever reason, when you look at US interest rate around holiday, I don't know whether it's present rate comes down, especially on mortgages. Everybody should pay attention to this. November, December, rate dropping. And so that 2022 rate drop in that November, December, and then all of a sudden people came, they scooped all homes on the market. And then it jumped to 2023. Then January 23, the Fed realized that job market came strong. They hyped the rate again, right? And so you realize that since then, that was the year we had a drop. Since then, mortgage home prices are steady going up again. And so timing this market is not always a pleasant thing that one always can do. And so when you are ready, just move ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome.